You
food
can spray cheese? Oh my god.
pencil sharpener. And before you ask,
On the wall. This thing really has dual wheels. Hi and welcome back. So, on my journey of discovering the US, we discovered many things that are totally new to me. And I want to increase this amount of things today with 7 things that Feli from Germany as well has never seen before she entered the US. So probably they are also very new to me. But before we do that, please hit like and subscribe. It would help me so much to boost my small channel and yeah, to be able to make more videos like this. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go into a reaction. Woo!
hey, do you think we could stop by an ATM? I need to get some cash. Yep, sure. There's one right over there, actually. And here we go. Here, give me your card. Wait, what is this place?
A drive-through ATM?
Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but since the fall of 2016, I've mainly been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And during that time, I've had lots of experiences with cultural differences, as you guys know, since that's what this channel is mainly about. And some of those experiences were situations where I was like, what is that? Or what is this thing for? Which often made me sound like a little child discovering the world for the first time.
I bet I sound exactly the same way in my videos.
But that's pretty much what it was, because there were quite a few things that I had never seen in my 22 years of living in Germany. And that's what this video is gonna be about. So here are 7 things I've never seen before I came to the US.
Drive-through ATM.
The first thing on my list is drive-through ATMs. And before I continue, I just want to give a disclaimer for the whole video. These are my personal experiences. I'm sure some of these things do exist in Germany somewhere. I'm sure there is a drive-through ATM.
I haven't heard of one.
Somewhere, but I personally, growing up in Munich, I had never seen that before I came to the US. And here, it's a pretty common thing, just like anything drive-through in the US. Drive-through pharmacies, coffee shops, liquor stores, and I've heard
drive-through pharmacies? Drive-through pharmacies. Okay, that's interesting because, you know, you need a prescription sometimes and stuff like that. And, you know, then we have to come back if they don't have it, stuff like this. A drive-through pharmacy is so genius. Oh my God.
There's even a drive-through wedding chapel in Las Vegas.
What?
So just a couple weeks.
Wait, you have a wedding in your car? I mean, what? Why? I mean, is this not a day where you are like, okay, that is a special day, and you do it in a drive-through? I mean, it's convenient, but I don't know if I would want to do that.
After I first came to Cincinnati for my exchange semester in 2016, I was in the car with a few friends and we were on our way to this event hosted by the university with a concert and food trucks, and we wanted to get some cash before we got there. So my friend said we're stopping by an ATM on the way there, and I was mind blown when we pulled into this drive-through ATM a few minutes later and we could get cash without even leaving our car. I was like, wow, Americans really don't like to walk. I had never gotten cash from a
Is it true? Do you hate to walk? Tell me in the comments.
car before, but since then I've done it many times myself, and I do have to say it is very convenient. The second point on my list has to do with driving as well, and that's because people just drive a lot more in the US than they do in Germany, especially compared to more urban areas in Germany. Here in the US, except for major cities like New York, cars are the main way of getting around. Distances are long because this is just a huge country. Public transportation is pretty poor or doesn't exist at all, and people can drive at the age.
So there are cities where are no buses or undergrounds or stuff like that? Please hit like and subscribe. It would help me so much. Thank you. Really?
16, which is pretty important here because in most places you really wouldn't be able to get around otherwise, and you would be dependent on your parents forever. So it's very common in the US to drive everywhere, and even in bigger cities here in the Midwest, like Cincinnati, you won't see many people walk or take a bike or public transportation. And with that also comes that you'll see people stand at stoplights, sometimes even in the middle of the street on the median with a sign held up. And when I first saw that, I automatically thought it was a hitchhiker. So I was like, wow, there's lots of hitchhikers in Cincinnati, until I realized that they were really homeless people, and on the signs, they were describing their situation and asking for money. So what you'll see is that when a driver is waiting at a...
So how is it about homeless care in the US? Tell me more about that. I don't know much about the homeless care in Germany, to be honest, but I don't know. There are not many homeless people, at least you don't see any. And if only then in the big cities, and only, I don't know, not so many, maybe, I don't know, I see, I don't know, 5 to 10 people. Yeah, so it's, I think, not so much a problem. Tell me how it is like in the US.
Light and wants to give them money, they'll just roll down their window and the person will walk up to the car and take it. And of course, it's not like I had never seen homeless people or people asking for money in Germany, but in Munich, you'll usually see...
Couldn't that be like scary that you get robbed or stuff like that if you just open the window, you know, you don't know the person, or is it totally fine?
Them on the sidewalks, in the pedestrian area, in subway stations, or wherever people might walk by rather than at stoplights.
Koozies. What is
With
koozies?
that, let's move on to the third thing on my list that I had never seen before I came to the US, and that is koozies. They look like this and are a pretty normal household item here. I'd say most people have at least one of these at home. Many people have dozens of these at home, but I personally had never seen that before I came here, and I had no clue what they were for when I first saw them. But as you can see, I do have some koozies myself now, because they're a pretty popular giveaway item and merch item. And they're mostly used when people drink beer or other alcohol. You put your can or a bottle in this thing, and that way your drink stays cool, especially in the summer. I've actually mentioned koozies in my video on alcohol culture, and in that video I said that they keep your hand from getting cold, since drinks here are usually extremely cold. And I said that because that's the only reason I've ever used them, but the official purpose is actually to keep your hand from warming up the drink and not the other way around. So I just want to get that straight. Why don't we have them in Germany? I'm not 100% sure, but
we, you know, sometimes there is like ice in our water or in our soda, but not really. So I don't know. It's probably not so much like a thing.
Assume that it's because we're not afraid of our drinks getting warm as much as Americans are, and we also don't drink.
Although I have to admit, cold drinks, if they are not freezing cold, but a little bit cold, are way better than warm drinks. They always are like, I don't know.
Out of cans a lot, and I believe that cans warm up faster than bottles. This one I actually didn't really notice until 2018, when I got my master's at the University of Cincinnati and taught German there at the same time. Because when I did my exchange semester in 2016, I never actually had a class in a normal classroom because the program was called Electronic Media, and I mostly just took video and audio production classes that were taught more in a
perfect for her job right now.
Studio setting. But then when I taught German 2 years later, my classes took place in normal standard classrooms, and that's when I noticed these things on the walls. Most classrooms have...
It looks like a generator for something.
One of these...
Like the thing on a where you fish. I don't know how it's called. Where you catch fish.
Attached to the wall, and I was completely lost at first as to what this is until I saw someone use it for the first time. And it's a pencil sharpener. And before you ask, yes.
On the wall. And this is then for the different thicknesses or sizes of the pencil, what?
For the first time, and it's a pencil sharpener. And before you ask, yes, we do have pencil sharpeners in Germany too, but it's not very common for German students to write with a pencil in school. I've actually talked a little more about that in this.
It's mandatory to not have a pencil, because then you can, after it's graded, you can erase answers and put the right ones in. So you always have to have a pen that is not erasable.
And therefore, pencil sharpeners aren't really a thing that students need after elementary school. And even in elementary...
Maybe in math, if you have to, you know, make a diagram, stuff like this, therefore you have a pencil, but otherwise, never.
school, I've never seen a pencil sharpener on the wall in Germany. The students just have their own sharpeners. Again, I'm sure somewhere in Germany you can find these on the wall too, or maybe it used to be a thing back in the day, but I personally had never seen this item before I came to the US, and here it seems to be.
But it's so genius, you know, it's genius. Then not everybody has to have one. You have just one in every classroom, and it's genius. You know, this thing never breaks. It's a very, you know, it doesn't cost much. It's genius.
Pretty standard thing in classrooms.
Spray anything?
Whether it's spray butter, spray oil, or even spray cheese, Americans have some interesting food.
You can spray cheese? Huh? Jesus. You know, Jesus. Hard. How can you spray cheese?
Items here that I had definitely never seen before, and especially the spray stuff threw me off a little in the beginning. Spray butter and
Does it smell, taste better or worse than normal cheese? Tell me.
spray oil are things that I've seen in a lot of American households. Maybe that's just because of the widespread fear of fat here, and people think that with regular butter and oil, they're gonna get too much of it. I'm not sure, but again, I've never seen that in Germany, and to most Europeans I've talked to, that seems pretty unnecessary. I mean, why not use your regular oil and butter? And the sprayed cheese, I don't even know what to say to that, but in general, there's lots of things that Americans call cheese that aren't actually cheese, so that's just something that I had to get used to.
Okay, so it's not really cheese.
This is something you see on the streets a lot that I feel
Because the only thing that I know cheese that is not hard is, or solid, is, you know, if you really much heat them, then like raclette, like the Swiss people do it, or stuff like that, but not like spraying.
like it's probably not even allowed in
But tell me if it's good. I mean, I probably miss out on something, you know? The thing that I doesn't know it doesn't mean that it's not good, right?
Germany, and it's these huge pickup trucks with dual wheels in the back. In general, there are a lot of pickup trucks on American streets compared to Germany, and just so.
Yeah, I think only people that really need them to work, you know, maybe, I don't know, somebody that works in a forest or somebody that does plumbing, I don't know, stuff like that, where you have big things to transport, have really such a thing, but not like the regular person.
Many huge cars and SUVs that wouldn't even fit through all the streets in Germany.
That's true,
but
yeah.
the dual wheels really are something that, to me, seems like the epitome of this whole land of extremes vibe of the US. And I often even see this in the city, where it doesn't even seem like the person actually needs a truck, let alone dual wheels. So I guess some people just have it because they can.
Wait, what does she mean with dual wheels? This thing really has dual wheels. Why? I mean, why are two wheels better than one wheel? What does it better? Tell me more about it. I have never seen something having dual wheels. Never. I mean, a bus, yeah, but they are not next to each other. They are behind each other, you know? So that is so interesting.
In general, there are. And the last point on my list has to do with cars again, and this one goes back to the fact that in Ohio and most other states, they don't have car inspections that your car has to pass in order to keep the registration. In Germany, we have a pretty strict inspection every 2 years.
It's so expensive, unnecessary. It's not cool.
Called TÜV, and that's the reason why you hardly ever see damaged cars on German streets. Maybe you'll see a dent here and there or some rust, but in the US you'll see beaters, so broken cars all the time. You know, cars that look like they just got out of an accident, where there is the bumper missing or half of the hood or the side mirror, and that was definitely something that shocked me in the beginning, to see cars like that on the highway, because it's just not something you'll ever see in Germany.
Yeah, I want to know which things are, maybe when you're not American, are new to you, or were new to you when you are first time in the US, and other way around, which are things maybe when you travel to Europe, Asia, South America, stuff like that, and which things are maybe you are missing there, or which are new to you that were there but you never have seen in the US. That would be very funny, because maybe there are some things that are, for example, so normal for a German like me. I probably know one thing. Here you see it. Tell me in the comments what you think it is for. And yeah, so I just want to see maybe some things that are totally normal for me that are totally outrageous for other people. I mean, probably like sprayed cheese is the same thing. I have never seen this or heard of this. So yeah, tell me this in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed this video as well. Please keep liking and subscribing, and we see each other in the next video. Bye!